Alright, boys, what's happening?
Not a lot. Just
answer it once then.
Right, cool, mate. Good. Buzzing, man. What an intro.
Just started to
Let's
thaw out for
everybody
Sunday.
calm down. Aye, let's just calm down, boys. That Ando was so excited to say hello that he's took his headset off and he's not listening anymore, which is decent. Well, good. Good. Kev, what's been happening?
Not a great deal, mate. Not a great deal. I think only thawed out from the Tony Macaroni on Sunday about 3 hours ago because it was that cold on Sunday.
Mate.
From that point of view, that's all I really want to talk about on Sunday because it was that bad.
Get them liquidated. We'll come on to that, man. But I'm fucking sick. You got the Tony Macaroni or whatever it's called. I fucking hate them. Right, Tam, what's been happening? You'd have been delighted on Sunday. You love Livy.
Oh. Good. Nobody beat anyone. Nah. I've only just got over sitting beside Kev for fucking.
Oh, mate, it's insufferable, isn't it?
Piss off with that. Mate. Piss off with that. You were away in the toilet half the fucking game.
True. Did you say
the word? Did you say
flipping? Did you just say flipping, Kev?
We were on.
You're still in work mode, are you?
Aye.
Oh well.
So what have I walked into here? I don't really understand who's ripping who and who has the advantage. Does Kev have the upper hand here over Tam, or is it the other way around, or is it just fucking handbags?
Everybody's got an upper hand on him. Everybody's got an upper hand on him. What did you say actually, Ando, before we came on? You said something as well, didn't you?
I don't know. Settle, Petal. Aye.
Well, Petal, how are you getting on?
I'm good, man. I think I've sorted out all the audio gremlins, and I'm sure the live chat will tell me if I sound like a Dalek again this week, or even worse, sound like Shanks.
Mate, I've got Shanks stories. Don't you worry. I've got Shanks stories for Sunday, but I'll tell you them in a minute.
Excellent.
We still got Graham waiting in the room trying to get in every 15 seconds. Wasn't he working last week? It was just every 2 minutes, wasn't it?
Aye.
Thanks to everybody that's joined us on YouTube. As always, we'll go through the game on Sunday, which should be about 4 minutes worth of chat because it was fucking shite. Headlines, it's transfer deadline of the day, and Hearts are then no business as usual. We'll talk about some of that stuff. Look forward to the Cup. Preview the Rangers game, which is tomorrow, and just the whole of the shite in between. So if you get any questions, anything you want to talk to us about, make sure you get in the comments or whatever, and I'll fire them over to us as we go. Sound good, boys?
Absolutely. Apart from that whole review of the Livy game, let's just fucking put that in the bin right away.
Well, here, let's talk about the highlights of the Livy game, right? So my away days now just consist of people coming up to me to say, your man Shanks is a millet, and I'm like, I know, I'm perfectly aware of Shanks is a millet. Why do you think, one, I'm not with him, two, why I'm not sitting with him, or why I'm anywhere near him? I know how it goes. Somebody came up to me and went, your man's down there buying 10 pies, and I was like, thought it was like a fat joke, because if he doesn't get the boys stuff, he gets fat stuff, so I was like, fine. Looked down at the concourse, and Shanks had 10 macaroni pies. He had them balanced on his chin, hanging up like that, pure wandering up the stairs to hand them out to everybody that was in the section. I don't know if you try to bribe them or say sorry because he's a fucking millet, but it was ridiculous. I'll send the video into the group chat. And then he, in true Shanks fashion, like the reason I knew last week that Shanks had made it into Middleton's was because, again, Viva Kujabi was the only song I heard.
He claims that wasn't him, by the way.
Absolutely was him. So we went through, the game was dug meat, we'll talk about that, right? And the Ultras had been through pretty much the whole song about trying to get people to join in, and they took a breather because we'd been singing non-stop for like 20 minutes or something in the game, which was absolutely terrible. And Shanks did as usual. Remember that last time at Livy, after about 4 minutes, he was like, come on, we need to lift this is Shite Hearts or something. And like, it was like, they was like, they're out singing us. I was like, mate, there's like 15 Livy fans over there, no one can, what are you talking about? So everybody had stopped singing, and he kind of went, fucking come on, we need to lift it, boys. And Freddie was like to him, will you fucking sing a song then? We'll do a poll. They will obviously know because they were. What song do you think Shanks went for? It wasn't Viva Kujabi.
Oh, right? Shit. So okay. Well, that's obvious.
Was it the Henry Smith song?
No, so let's think that it was. Let's go back into the bit where the Ultras are on their best behaviour right now because we're trying to get a section in the stadium, right? So think of songs that you can sing at football anymore. And think of the song that Shanks tried to start. But we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. I'll leave it for later on in the show. You can have a good think about it. We're thinking 2007-8 season era, right?
Okay.
And remember those days we were singing quite horrible songs about Tony Mowbray and his wife, which could have got us shut down. There was some songs about jet skis. You're in that ballpark,
yeah,
right? You're in that ballpark. But we'll come to that.
That's not the ballpark I thought you were going when you were teaming that up to. That's
that's where we were going.
Before we move on for Shanks chat, Andy Dixon in the chat has said, "I'm sure Shanks came storming past me at the end, trying to get out, looking fucking raging." So,
aye, mate. Shanks walked out with me and went, "Can you give me a lift to the Black Bull?" I said, "Aye, mate, that makes sense because I need to get food anyway." And I turned round and he ran away. Like, what? Honestly, man, the guy, he's like, see that film, Mr. Deeds? See the butler, the fucking very sneaky? That's Shanks, mate. He is the only person that can pop up in one section and within minutes be at the other section. Honestly, I don't know where he goes and how he gets here. He just appears behind you, and I'm like, what? All right, mate. I'm out of it. Anyway.
I'm glad we were the opposite corner, to be honest with you.
Aye, because you had the other fucking roaster at the football. So you look after your old Kev, and I'll look after Shanks as much as I possibly can. Right, we do a tam down first. Let's do a tam down.
Let's go for it. Right,
and then we'll work with that.
All right, sound. Right, so tam down this week. Hands on Heeds, or well, whatever. Tam, what was that? You've absolutely ruined that.
You've somebody's got to rewind that.
Tell, exactly. I was going to say, you can tell it's been a couple of weeks since you've been like in the company of grown-ups or whatever. It's like, come on, man. Like, hold yourself with a bit of decorum. Fuck's sake. Right. So we play Rangers tomorrow night. This tam down is to do with the last 13 scorers that have scored a goal against Rangers, and they're all different, right? So for the immediately last 13 goals that have been scored against Rangers are all different players, cool. And we go back to, let me just check, so I'll give you an idea of the dates, I'll help you out in this one. So we're looking from the 14th of May, well, actually, no, that's why I've made an arse of that already. We're going back to the 1st of February 2017. Okay, up to the most recent goal that is scored. So you've got a few years of coverage there, and I will start just to make him fucking squirm with Thomas.
Thomas, you look very German today.
Try grow a Kairos tash, but it doesn't look more like Hitler.
It doesn't look very Kairos, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
Nah, it looks very Armadale, but never mind.
Yes, you look Adolf Armadale. That's you.
There's a show name right there, Adolf Armadale. Right, nailed it already in the first 5 minutes. Right, Tam,
what did you say?
What was your answer?
I said Boyce.
That is correct. Corbett next.
Well, Kev, do we be tactical and take out all the ones that we know that absolutely Tam will go for, or do we go for the obscure ones?
No, we take out Tam will get. Well, the thing is, if we take Tam out, there's a good chance you take me out as well, because I can't think any of them at the moment. But
right, okay. I'm going to say Peter Haring.
Peter Haring is absolutely correct. Was the last person to score against Rangers. In a 3-1 loss
when have you even got that
on the 14th of May.
Mm-hmm.
Over to Kev.
We got battered off their under-17s.
That's right.
That's great.
That's right. I'm going to go with Bozanic.
Bozanic is correct. On the 29th of February 2020, Scottish Cup in a 1-0 win. Back to Tam.
Halkett last year.
Craig Halkett. Yep, absolutely correct. 1-1 draw. Over to Corbett.
Muirhead.
No, Muirhead is not on my list. Not within the last 13.
Was he much? Oh, the last 13 games. Did he not score 2 or something against
Got
Rangers?
double, didn't he?
Yeah,
Aye.
and they
double.
sacked him.
I'll go back and I will tell you the last time Robbie Muirhead. Yeah, okay, you were very close. He scored on the 30th of November 2016, and this list starts basically.
17.
2016-17 season.
Well, can I revise and have another guess?
Of course you can, because it's you.
Why?
Because I like
Lafferty.
Corbett, Tam. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
There we go. Corbett, well done. Kev Lafferty, 28th of October 2017, in a 3-1 loss.
That was at Hingley, wasn't it? That was at Murrayfield.
Murrayfield, wasn't it? Free
That's
kick, belter.
Right. Absolute beauty. Kev, over to you.
I want to say Naismith.
Well,
Stephen
you should say
Naismith.
that, aye.
Okay,
Yes.
well, yeah, you'd be correct. 26th of January 2020, in a 2-1 win at home, Stevie Naismith. Tam. Incidentally, you're all equal on points. You've all got 2 each. So
That one where
We know we're not equal in life, so Tam, don't you worry about that.
Ken, I'm a fucking shagger and you
oh!
Jamie Walker.
Jamie Walker, yeah, that's absolutely
Yeah.
correct. And
Motherfucker.
this is where I cut it off because after the last 13 scorers, they start to repeat themselves. So for ease, that's why it gets cut off at 13. Yeah, but Jamie Walker on a 4-1 win at home. Corbett, you're next.
Who else scored in that game?
It's the only goal I can mind. That was apparently
Oh, one
How
of
many?
your favourite players scored in that game, mate.
You always wonder where you're going with that.
Yeah, I can't decide if it is favourite or not.
Did Don Cowie score?
Yes, he fucking did. Don
The
Cowie
man,
scored.
absolute.
Aye, he scored in a 4-1 win.
Nothing
which was
will ever beat me stoating into the 2019 cup for seeing him there and asking him in front of his whole family, his wife and kids, mate, do you actually hate the IRA? And he was like, and just walked away.
so
It's
bad.
the only good thing about you is your song. You're fucking dog shit.
See, you're
Amazing.
in that game. I'm going to make it easy for you. Obviously, it was a 4-1 win, right? So you've both named the 2 scorers that scored the last 2 goals. So Don Cowie and Jamie Walker. Obviously, in that game, Jamie Walker scored another one, and so did Christian Novak. Christian Novak is not an answer because
That was my next one.
it was only the latter 2 goals that were scored in that game
Right,
that
that
formed
added in
part
the
of the last.
17. Okay.
Yeah, that formed part of the last 13. So don't think Christian Novak, if anyone was going to say it. Tam, I could tell it was on the tip of your tongue, but never mind. Kev, you're next. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 answers left to get.
5 to get. Can I get everybody? Mikey Smith's definitely not.
No.
Christoph Berra.
Christoph Better, absolutely correct, Kevin. Well done.
That was you motherfucker.
You've done well there. 22nd of April in a 2-1 loss away. Christoph Berra scored. So there are 4 left, and none of them obviously currently serving players. To be fair, one of them, one of the goals was an absolute fucking beauty. Actually, no. I'm not giving you clues. Tam, you're next.
I could be making this up, but I think I remember John Suter scoring.
You're making it up. John Suter
Cool.
is not in the last 13. Corbett.
He's the original Japanese boy. Machino.
Oh, aye.
Yep, correct.
That was
Absolutely correct. Scored in a 1-1 draw back on the 20th of October 2019. Over to Kev.
I'm trying.
3 left to get.
Did Jimmy Dunn score?
No, he absolutely did, Kevin. Well done.
Wrigley scored 2 goals, one against Aberdeen and one against them.
7th of October 2018 in a 3-1 loss.
2018 was it?
Away. Jimmy Dunn scores, so there's 2 left to go. So the scores in the door so far: Tam on 3, Kevin Corbett on 4 apiece, and there are 2 correct answers left to get. Tam, over to you.
I'm struggling.
Well, if you're chapping, you're out, because we want a winner here.
Dead air.
Dead air. Right. Okay. Nice one. Take one for the team.
Just
over to Corbett. There are 2 players left.
Just to make
you say take one for the team. I was taking one to not embarrass myself.
Well, that's fair enough.
Just to make everybody remember what a fucking shit show a Football Club Hearts used to be. We proclaimed to the world when we signed this guy that we knew his knees were fucked and he couldn't run, and he's the same age as me. Fucking Stephen McLean.
Correct. Well done, Corbett. He also scored in
it was a pure deflection, wasn't it? It was like a pure. We went 1-0 up in a game we were absolute dog shit and then lost.
Aye. He scored in a 3-1 loss, 20th of April.
Is that a game? Scotty Hingweed Bobby Zamal, didn't he?
Aye.
2-footed the keeper, didn't he?
Correct.
You were raging.
Aye. Remember that time? We went to that game, Tam, didn't we?
Should have been a red card. In fact, that was.
It was
a red card.
Aye, it was. My apologies.
I was trying to fight Hearts fans that wanted to fight Scott.
Right, Kev, to draw level. To draw level, and this, I can't see your hands, but I'll assume that you're not busy on Google. This was on the 13th of May, 2017. It was a 2-1 loss.
You know what I love about this?
What?
Rangers, Celtic fans think we lie down, that we'll just, like, they say, oh, they'll do their typical lie down Rangers. I'm like, mate, we can't fucking beat them. Like, when we beat them a bit or something, then the whole time I've been alive.
Terrible.
Some bad conspiracy, we lose every week, man.
Was it the boy Johnson, was it?
No, it wasn't. Right, so Corbett, you have a chance to seal this in stone. Yeah, if you...
2017, you said?
2016-2017 season. It was in towards the end of the season, May 2017, in a 2-1 loss away from home.
Is it a pure obscure dug meat player?
Well, yeah, it's absolutely dug meat. He's larger than life, let's say. He's quite a fat pie of a boy.
What, Zifuk?
No, but equal in size to Zifuk, although he's prolific.
I think Kev just said it.
What was it? Was it Uche?
No. Uche, let's be honest, Uche was a ramrod. He wasn't a fat bastard. This guy was fat and useless and pish. I couldn't stand him.
Fat and useless and pish. Tam, did you ever score against
Tam has scored against Rangers.
Tam, I'm sorry, Tam.
Look at me fucking raging. That's hilarious. Right, if you don't know, dead air is a crime. So correct. Well done, Corbett. Well done. Yeah. So final scores in the doors: Tam with a lowly 3, Kev hanging at the back of Corbett on 4, and then Corbett way up in front as usual on 6. So well done, boys. That was the last 13 players to score against Rangers.
We'll talk about it because we're going to talk about Rangers or whatever, the game tomorrow or whatever, but I didn't like the feeling I have right this very second thinking about tomorrow because I'm confident. But we'll talk about that later. Mate, I thought I should. There's nothing else. What else do you want me to do? There's nothing else.
Mate, it's going to be fine because I won't be there. So when?
Oh, there you go. Fucking we'll announce a 6.
Correct.
You turned that particular bad loss round though, did you know, Ando?
When was that?
Did you come up for a few midweek games and we were actually starting to win them?
Nah.
No. All right, I thought we did. I thought you had done. I thought you had.
Cool. That was a good segue. That was a good segue, boys.
Exactly. We horsed Aberdeen 5-0. I wasn't there. We beat Hibs 3-0 away. I was there, but that was
earlier in
the
this
weekend.
season.
But and
Just for the folk that know that Hibs fans are singing that they're going to Europe tonight after a 1-1 draw away to Ross County when they've got about 18 games in hand and everybody else running about them. Superb, isn't it?
I was going to say, have we missed an announcement that says UEFA are bringing back the Intertoto Cup? Because that's the only way they fuckers are getting into it.
Remember, did something not get...
think...
Right, it is Europe, Kev. That's right.
It's in Faroe Islands or something like that.
Did something not get in for like having the least yellow cards or something like that? Remember, you used to get like a fair play award or something.
That was one of the things. The Intertoto Cup, it had like a list of different qualifying criteria, and one of them was, and I can't remember who it was, but someone qualified from Scotland because they got the least amount of disciplinary points. That was your way into Europe by just being a pathetic, I don't give a fuck team.
That sounds like the type of thing Pat Fenlon and Hibs would have got. That sounds right up their street, doesn't it?
Correct.
Or was it a case that Hibs were supposed to get it, but then Fenley got sent off, and that was it? They weren't getting in.
They weren't allowed to go.
Equally fair.
That's very true. Right. Any questions or anything that we've got?
Yeah, actually, we have got one from Ricky Graham. What's that thing on Tam's lip? Which was a fairly apt question.
It's Mackay Rose task. Give it 6 weeks. It'll be fucking good.
Jim McDowell's got the best phrase, the best bit so far. Tam should get tenner pants.
I didn't even go for a piss here.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Right.
Well played, Jim McDowell.
There you go. Motherwell got into the first ever Europa League for having the best record for fair play.
Well, there you go.
Super.
Thanks for digging up old news from 5 minutes ago. We're busy ripping the piss out of you, Tam.
I thought we were in Tony
Let's try to
Mowbray
change the
song
subject, mate.
territory there.
The only other question.
Tony Mowbray song territory there when you were talking about digging up.
Whoa. Have we got the answer?
Allegedly, that was what Shanks was singing. But we'll move on.
That's shocking.
Mind we're live.
No, that wasn't what he was singing anyway.
Was it not? Because that was going to be my guess,
come to that
to be
later.
honest.
No, we'll come to that. We'll come to that later. Headlines. Humphreys is probably the best news of the day. Although it did fucking annoy me, Kev. Why did it say that elapsed on like the 14th of January? What are you telling us now? 17 days.
Exactly.
We've been sitting shitting ourselves. Why did you not just tell us that on the 14th?
Couldn't understand that. Couldn't understand why they actually came out with it today to say that this was all effectively they had to bring them back by the 14th of January. Well, why did you not tell us on the 15th then? Thanks very much. Nothing like keeping us on our flipping toes.
That's twice flipping.
That's two flippings, Kev.
I've had enough, man. Right? I know we're live and we're trying to clean this shit up, but no, I'm not up for it.
No, we're not flipping. We're not flipping it yet. But Humphreys on a for the rest of the season in a permo deal, Ando. Has to be you put it in the group chat earlier, didn't you? So we just got to stop pissing about now and just sign him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I like it. Actually, yeah, I'm going to rephrase what I'm going to say. I love the boy, hand over fist. I think whenever I've seen him play, he's always added value. He's never one that comes on, and I think that it's been a negative change. If he starts, you know what, he absolutely delighted for him to start if the situation is right. I think he only ever adds value in his performance, and that's hard to get. That's all you can ask of any player. Is like, obviously we've got loads of young lads and all that sort of stuff, and you bring them on, you feel like you're just bringing on a sub just to refresh tired legs or whatever, but they don't add anything. They maybe take away from what's already on the park. But when you bring Humpty on, I think he lifts that team. He makes them better. And it's a guy I think we need on the roster.
Are we saying roster, are we?
Roster.
Is that American football?
Mate, it was the NFC and the AFC divisional playoff games over the weekend. Yes, I have watched a lot of American football over the last 48 hours, and that I make no apologies for it. So fuck you. That's all I'll say.
Right, Kev, what were you going to say?
I'm just saying, do you start
you
tomorrow night?
Maniac.
I know. Do you start them tomorrow night? I know that we've been playing with Shanklin
right with it.
and Janelli up front out with Sunday, but in the previous 3 or 4 games. And the two of them were actually working really well together. Ginnelly taking that sort of more central role and letting Shanklin get more involved in the game. But do you take Ginnelly out and you go with Shanklin and Humphreys up front? I would say so.
I think the noticeable difference on Sunday, obviously conditions in the pitch, but we look at a worse team without Snodgrass and a worse team without Ginnelly, if I'm being honest with you. I thought we could tell that we were missing them. So I think we revert. It'll be as close to the team that beat Aberdeen and Hibs as you could probably get. Maybe Devlin the only one that misses out because of his hamstring or whatever the precautionary thing was on Wednesday. But Humphreys, just like you said, that it's a better option, or it's a different option from Sims this time last year, is that playing 3-4-3 or whole, and we've spoke about this at length before, so we'll not go over it again, but one of our whole aspects and one of our sort of go-to tactics is to suck teams in and then hit them on the break, and you could tell that was the plan on Sunday because you can't play passes on that park, it just doesn't work. But the wind kind of took our out ball out of the game, but I think that's part of the plan now, is to have guys like Humphreys, Kuhl, who we've seen, Pace and Utara Oda as well, bring them off the benches, Ginnelly, whoever, and run teams, etc. So Humphreys, no-brainer for me. I think I love the guys on Ando in that camp. I think he's totally and utterly gorgy, and the quicker we can get him signed up, the better. The only other sort of transfer related stuff was some of the young folk out on loan, etc. Yeah, are we just running down the contracts of guys like you and Henderson and all that sort of stuff, because he's not going to feature for Hearts, is he?
Nah, to be honest, any time he has, he's not really been good enough, has he? He was, I suppose, what game did he start? Istanbul away, was it? You wouldn't have seen it, you were in Florida or whatever, but I think he started that night and he put himself about there, but at the end of the day, he's had enough chances now that he's done for me. I love how, like 2 years ago on the podcast, though, I wanted to bring this up because I was speaking to a mate about it, because he was saying about Hibs, how raging they are that they've got no youth players. I like how we just don't give a fuck anymore because we're playing well and we're just it's fine.
No, but the argument was never just play young players. Like, that is never what the argument is.
No, I know, yeah.
Play Elliot Freer and Mihai Pospis, whatever he was, Popescu, and bring in Shea Logan and all these guys, whilst you have players on your bench, your Connor Smiths, Finlay Pollocks, Ewan Hendersons or whoever, that are no better or no worse than what you had. I'd rather watch them than watch the shite. And it's the same with Hibs. Like, Hibs fans would rather go watch Laidlaw or O'Connor or whoever the young guys are that are coming through than watch fucking Harry McCurdy, the guy for Home Alone, and his Ross that they've got. That's always
no, it's a fair point.
Do you know what I mean? And that's where we have right now. And to be honest with you, for the foreseeable, the youngsters that are at Hearts, it's a great incentive for them to be better. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at, not liking it to this because it's obviously their levels above, but like Barry Ferguson coming through when he got his opportunity at Rangers, he came through because he was playing with brilliant players. Do you know what I mean? So if we can get our youngsters learning off guys like Snodgrass, Shankland, Craig Gordon, Halkett, etc., it'll help. And we've had that has been missing for ages. So I think the youth thing's still there. It's still something that we want to promote, but it won't be here for a few more seasons yet, whilst the next crop of young guys comes through and gets to learn the standards of the club, if you know what I mean. So
I think you're right. These youngsters have no entitlement to get starts for Hearts. They have to go and prove themselves. So they must be doing that week in, week out or whatever.
Aye, exactly. Do we reckon that obviously the Patterson saga rumbled on? I feel a bit like that's Hearts heavy, that, rather than Patterson heavy, if you know what I mean? Because I think if Patterson was really chapping at the door to say I want away or I want out, I don't see Sheffield Wednesday digging their heels in to keep him, because why would you keep a player that would so openly saying they want to go? And it seems like Hearts are happy just to wait to the summer.
Yeah, especially given the fact that he is out of contract in the summer. They could have
Has everyone else lost Kev, or is it just me?
Yeah. Nah, he's gone.
He's gone. Oh, well, anyway, we'll charge on regardless. Never mind.
Me. It was me, I'm back.
Oh, hello, Kevin. What a flipping nightmare that was.
Kev, go and put a quid in the Bromband machine and see if you can keep it going.
I was just saying the fact that with him only having 6 months left in his contract, and this is something that's been rumbling on for a number of weeks. It's not even just been in the January transfer window. It was before Christmas. You would think that if Sheffield Wednesday did want to get rid of him and take, effectively cash in on him, they would have had a replacement already in play. But the fact that they've not done that, they've kept him and they've actually started to play him from the starting games. It's like maybe just revitalised him in training. Who knows? I still don't see where he fits into the squad though at this moment in time, even if we were to take him on a pre-contract.
I think we must be pushing to bring that in for him to play right wing back or right back or somewhere in that side of the pitch, because I think you've seen on Sunday that Atkinson's not the answer to that. We will talk about the Livingston game there, but I just don't think. I always look back to the 2015 season or whatever in the Championship when Robbie was first back, and I remember being at Raith Rovers away. I think we won 3-0 or 3-1 or whatever. It was the night that we basically essentially won the league type thing. And I remember I'd sit in the home end because the away end was sold out. And I remember watching from behind the goals and listening to everybody run about and just watching Hearts just be fitter, stronger, more physical, everything in them. And the ball went out for a corner and Callum Patterson came down there 50-50 with their centre half or whatever. And Callum Patterson at the time must have been about 19 or 18 or something like that. And he looked like a fucking different race, like a different species compared to this guy that was there. He was just bigger, he was bulkier, he was stronger, more athletic. And I think that's what we want and the way we're trying to play is that's what Robbie wants. He'll want energy on that wing, and you get that from Cochrane, someone that'll go up and down and win a challenge, win a header, play a pass, score a goal. And I think that's what they want from Callum Patterson. So I think he'll play that side. But it's Hearts. He could probably back up Craig Gordon, or we might play him up front. Who fucking knows? Yeah. That is just the way it goes. Actually, Tam, one of the things we hadn't written down here to talk about was the Toby Sibbick saga with Blackpool. They were bidding for him, and Hearts
or
told them
not really bidding for them.
Besmirchers. Aye, and we've got a besmirching, didn't we? That's when shits went down.
Flipping ridiculous.
I actually really like that though, to be honest. I like that they just released a statement and were just like, fuck off, essentially.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And is it Mick McCarthy? He's a wank anyway.
Oh,
he's an idiot.
He's the biggest. Right, you know what? I'm quite happy to cut this if you want in the edit.
He can't say sentences.
Aye, exactly.
Say flipping.
In the great toilet bowl of life or football, Mick McCarthy is nothing but a tiny little shit stain. That's all he is, right? And you know
allegedly.
What? No, allegedly. You can fucking quote me on that. I have never liked Mick McCarthy. Absolute fucking tit.
I actually met him at the Park Bistro in Linlithgow once when I was a wee boy. Asked for a photo and told me to fuck off, so...
Take that back, Handle. What a sound guy.
I know, right.
Mick
McCarthy, always forgiven. If you want to come on the pod next week and kick the shit out of Tam again, then we'll be glad to have you, mate. Thanks.
But
there's a good question. How many ex-football players have actually abused Tam? They've got Mick McCarthy, we've got John Cahoon. How many more can we get?
That feels like we should set up a hotline. You need to talk about it. You need to talk about it. We can talk about it, mate. We're all pals, right?
I thought you meant a hotline for like footballers just to phone up and
say,
yeah, if it makes us money, fuck it, let's do it.
Let's do it. No, like I said, I think it was good. Toby Sibbick's gone nowhere, and why would they leave Hearts on the verge of European football again, progressing in the cup, playing good football? Fan base absolutely love them to go to fucking Blackpool.
Right, exactly. Having a team built around them and potentially 3 or 4 years of upside to Blackpool to spend all his money on the arcades.
When was the last time you ever been to Blackpool?
Oh,
Sure, the last time we spoke about it was Sean
2001.
Maloney not being able to ride the Pepsi Max. But...
Right, that,
2001, I'll tell you,
I
was the
went
last
there.
time I was there. I know that for a fact.
well, I went for my brother-in-law's stag do. Now, as everybody knows, I'm a famous teetotaler, so I was sober and was like, "What the fuck is this place? This is like somebody nuke this place or something." It was absolutely disgusting. Everything about it was howling. I was like, "Why do people still come here? It's like jail. It's like a theme park in a jail." Honestly, that is expected to get shanked, like standing in the queue for the Pepsi Max or whatever. It was howling. But we'll move on. I don't. I think did we might have talked about it, but we never talked about it in depth. Hamilton next in the Scottish Cup. Tam, what's your thinking on that? They obviously put out Ross County in the last round, so took a scalp. Confident?
No, after Sunday, bearing in mind the pitch situation, but
They've got a plastic pitch as well.
they've got a shocker off a one as well. Aye, so they'll be guaranteed no much football being played on it. But to be fair, it's Hamilton.
They've got wee latte casuals as well, so you better watch yourself, Tam. Set up about you.
So, okay, that's Stone Island, that kid. He actually had Stone Island and CP Company on Sunday. He was repping both. He was
good, mate. Good.
Nah, I see tickets are going on sale tomorrow. So
we're trying to figure it out because they gave us 3,500 tickets initial allocation. So Kev's right. I remember they have like B&Q sheds at the side of the stand that you can't see. I'm assuming it'll be half the main stand and then the full stand behind the goals and probably some of the thing with. That'll be no problem for attendance FC though, Kev. When it we'll sell that.
Oh, we'll sell it. I wouldn't be surprised if it sells out even before the weekend. I think it's 115 loyalty points you need for a ticket, which would say to me that the likelihood is it's not going to drop much below that. So I'm fucked.
Well, mate, I'm the worst Hearts fan. I've got 25 loyalty points and never miss a fucking game. I don't know how, but there you go, Kev. Don't be bitter. It's all right. I'll text you for the game and let you know how it's gone.
I definitely can't make that game, but I have enough points. So, yeah, well, a fact. No, I won't for the initial cut, but for when they drop it down a shelf, then yeah. And I'll raffle it off. I'm not just going to give it to you, 40. Kev. It'd be nice if I'd done that. I'll make you fucking dance for it.
Well, we've got plenty. Shanks has got about 40 different accounts with 300 loyalty points because he keeps buying Club J kits.
39 of them are his
He gets loyalty points for the pies he buys.
Mate, tell me about it. He's the only person I know that buys the full kit. He's even gets his initials and all that on his shorts kicked about the house.
Is it on that Viaplay thing? Is that what it's called? Viaplay?
No, it's on the BBC.
It's on BBC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've no idea what we're talking about. You talking about the cup game?
Aye. I just didn't. What is that channel called?
Well, it used to be Premier Sports.
No,
they were bought over by a Norwegian company. They've changed their name. Move on. It's on the BBC. Doesn't matter.
Unless they sponsor this podcast, they're getting no fucking airtime.
Exactly. It's the tin pot fucking cup.
What was the place at Hamilton? They used to have a dance in there. Remember, it was
Hamilton Palace. We were talking about
Hamilton Palace.
Tam has never been. Brad's has never been.
I've never been.
The only people.
Brad's has been.
Has he?
Yeah, he said that the other day there.
Oh, did he? I was going to say the only people that are likely to have ever been there because of debauchery back in the day is Kev or me, and potentially Corbett because before his teetotal days was a bit of an Nimrod. So.
Yes.
I bet you Shanks was there on Sunday night, man.
That's where he ran off to.
Like, what is the Hamilton Palace? No, Mega Bar Motherwell's one's got a chippy at the bottom of it, isn't it? There's at the Mega Bar. There's a chippy inside the Mega Bar at the bottom. It's ridiculous.
How far back are you going, man? The Mega Bar,
mate. I'm telling you. The Mega Bar in Motherwell, mate.
Fucking hell, I know where you are, but that's not a thing anymore. I don't think. Well, happy to be corrected.
Probably not. Well,
it's been a long time since
probably
I was there,
not.
But...
Aye, probably not. Right, let's finish this bit with one last serious point because we'll obviously talk about Livy in the game in a second. But one of the reasons I was gutted we never won was the fact that it's always better to argue a point from a position of power or whatever. But that fucking pitch is atrocious, man. It is so bad. And I'll give you this in the 4th minute, right? Whoever Shamal George or whatever the hell he's called, the Livingston goalkeeper, put the ball down. Fucking, you couldn't name a Hearts player, but fucking instantly. Oh, Schmal George, George.
I fucking knew you were going to say that as soon as I went. Yeah, I
You
was like, oh,
flipping knob, right? He put the ball down on the 6-yard box to take a bye kick and did the whole thing that footballers always did. Did that. Everybody shifted over to the dugout side, etc. He kicked the ball. It went and out for a throw in on our stand side, the opposite side for the dugout, and he just went. That's it. Fucking hell, man.
Wasn't even that windy.
And everything you see. But it's just awful, everything about it. And fair play to Livingston, right? Because they play to it. Everything they do is based around the fact that that pitch is terrible. You know, they have two big numpties up front that they just launch long balls up to and make your defenders face their goal and take dodgy touches or have to try and deal with bouncing balls, etc. Or if they try and pass it in the middle of the park, they put two wee terriers on you that'll be instantly on you on your second touch because they know your first touch is to try and take the spin off the ball that's generated by the plastic pitch. It's normally going to go 5 feet in front of you and you're going to have to chase your first touch, etc. The ball boys didn't give you the ball back. They throw two balls on at the pitch at one time. They kick balls away. Like, they just make everything terrible for
They're
you. And fair play to them. They're an absolute gang. And then that's what they have to do. That's what they have to do. But the pitch is terrible. And the case in point for it is the Xander Clark, the Cowrolls clearance is amazing. But when you watch that game back, right, and think of what the ball bounces like in any other area of the park, that ball bounces and hops forward, and Xander Clark headers that comfortably, or it's got enough pace in it to make the box, and it doesn't look like he's made a total tit of it. But the ball checks, almost like spins back, and he's left standing there like, oh, fuck.
And then the wind catches it at that point too, doesn't it?
It's just total crazy, Kev. We can't be gone round saying that we want to be taken serious as a proper league. And I'm going to use Darvel, and it's going to upset everybody, but we've seen Darvel's pitch on Monday against Aberdeen. How can we not have that in the top flight? Oh, good. Cool.
It's, you know, the whole setup is ridiculous. And that Livingston, Blackburn United are 10 minutes along the road. They play on grass. It's ridiculous that a club playing in the Premier League, and this is not just at Livingston. This is also aimed at Kilmarnock. That are actually playing on plastic pitches. It's ridiculous that we even allow it. I remember a guy telling us after the game earlier in the season that they don't have £1 million to effectively run a grass pitch for the season. Why not? Run your club properly, you'll have £1 million, no problem at all. But they rent it, am I right in saying this? They rent that particular ground off the council.
I don't think, it's not owned by them, it's used by, like, Bradley School uses it during the fucking other
for what?
community
Maths
groups
lessons?
and stuff.
That's ridiculous.
That's why I'm so shite at math. I was outside trying to keep you up his band and they were making me play with an abacus. Absolutely terrible. But we can't, like, Kilmarnock, Hamilton, Falkirk, whoever else have got plastic pitches and that. It's not an excuse anymore. Like, there should be rules in place that say that the top flights have to have proper VAR facilities and grass pitches, because it's an advert. And I bet you see if Livingston got the ball down and played football, I bet it'd be a good team. They would get decent players in there.
Into the KFC boss on that's on YouTube at the moment. I didn't realise, but Blackburn United used to play on grass. That was when I'm going to say.
Yeah, what I absolutely hate, by the way, is the argument that both teams have to play on it.
Mate, that's where I was coming to next year, right? See, I know you'll never believe this, right? But Soccer AM is still a thing, right? I know it's fucking a joke. They still make the same jokes and all that shit anyway. But anyway, Soccer AM still a thing. Jimmy Bullard came up to Livy today, the the drill thing, right? And the drill was first time shooting, right? So 2 feeders either side of the goal, zip the ball into the 18-yard box, and you have to touch a mannequin and hit your shot first time, right? The first 3 of Jimmy Bullard's shots went out the stadium. Literally, like, bobbled and went out the stadium.
And that's
do you know what I mean?
one
and
of the best strikers ever.
No, it just shows you how much it it affects the way the ball rolls, the way you kick it, the way it bounces, everything about it, and you have to play in it every single day to understand how it's got to do, how you got to take your touch. Like, it's mentally draining. You're gonna have to properly examine every single bit of your game. How do you take a touch, etc. And again, it sounds like sour grapes. We didn't win, right? But again, and you say fair play to Livingston because they make it work. But we can't be a top flight league and have those shitey parks. We just can't do it. Right. Let's talk about Livy then, the actual game. Unless, Sando,
I thought that's what we've talked about. I thought that was it.
Since you've just came back, what have we got on YouTube? We got any questions in that we want to talk about?
I'll have a very quick look. Wee Specky Sai saying FYI Tony Watt moving to St Mirren.
Seen that earlier.
Question from Robbie McCallum Corbett: did you fork out 25 quid for the kit poster behind you, or did Savage give you it as a freebie?
Probably bugs me how that's mounted, by the way. Just to.
I said that a few weeks back. Aye.
Aye.
Another one.
Why do you give a shit what happens in someone else's house, Tam?
Just OCD, man.
Oh, okay. Livy, the rest of it's just statements. No specific questions, but yeah, keep them coming. If there's anything that you want to kick the shit out of Tam for, then just let it be known in the chat.
Actually,
and we will.
It's no Hearts headlines or whatever, but do you want to talk briefly about Aberdeen because they're a fucking shit show?
Actually, there's one good question has just been levelled by Craig. Has Tam got any questions right tonight? I don't even think that means quiz questions. I just think that means questions in general. Anything you've asked Tam, has he got it right? I don't think
he must
he
have
has.
just started tuning in, man. I've been on fucking fire than that, by the way. I'm in class.
Of course you have. Right, sorry, Corbett, back to you.
So,
what were you saying?
No, just we could have a wee laugh at Aberdeen because I've said this before, and again, this is going to sound like sour grapes, right? And fuck it, we're a Hearts podcast, why not? Every team in Scotland, and I mean in every rung of the Scottish football ladder, would have beaten Aberdeen on Saturday. An absolute shambles of a club to say a football monitoring board, whatever that is. Never heard of that in my whole entire life. As I said on Twitter, up there with a loans manager for just fucking making up stuff for things today. But to basically say we have to see an immediate improvement in results, just sack him. Just sack him. And Nando, do you know the thing that annoyed me the most? We said it before, and I know someone used to do it on Twitter. They used to have the statement league. It was like they used to always do it. It was like Rangers and Hearts every week would release a statement about something because we were in absolute disarray off the park or whatever. When your chairman is in the media all the time, alarm bells should be ringing, right? And I laughed my tits off because Dave Cormack, the Aberdeen chairman on Saturday, said, "I'm lost for words." That's what he said. Then went on to speak to Sky Sports, ITV,
for 10
BBC.
minutes. Yeah.
He spoke to every media outlet you could imagine, and he was waffling about, I was in that stand in 1980 when we won the league. 1980, 43 years ago. Who fucking cares, mate? You just got scudded 6-0. Last time you were in there, you got scudded 5-0. Like, it was a shambles. Honestly, they are in free fall. They are in real trouble. They could go down, telling you.
You know what? And I am loving every single minute of this, right? Only because the whole whatever the Dave Cormack, whatever his name is, that whole thing is like, oh, I'm dead emotional. It's the total crocodile tears moment of it, right? It's just like I was driving. We were away out on Saturday afternoon, and I was driving back, and I was listening to it in the wireless, and that was obviously getting piped through the car stereo, and then like the missus is going like, "What the fuck is this?" It's like, right, what actual is this? And I was like, well, Aberdeen have just been beat, blah blah blah. And she's like, that doesn't even sound genuine. And I'm like, it genuinely doesn't sound genuine. I've used the word genuine about 5
I was
times
going to say
in a single
Flippin
sentence.
genuinely said it.
Flippin genuine, fuck's sake. But anyway, the point being is like it was just sounded absolutely fucking horrible, and then you've got all these guys on the BBC going, "Oh yeah, it was heartfelt and it was this and it was that," and I was like, "No, it's absolute fucking nonsense." Exactly that, crocodile tears. It's a PR stunt. We've got rid of Goodwin because we made the fucking wrong decision earlier on in the week, and we can't own that decision. And you know what?
100%.
If one thing that really always fucking frustrates me in football is integrity. See if you've done something that's fucking shite, just stand up and own it, right? Like if I'd done that in my professional career, and I do that in my professional career, as and when I make up Ricky Hunter things. No, I don't cry. But like if I've made an arse of something, I'll own it and I'll stand on that decision, right or wrong. Don't fucking come out and portray yourself in the media as the victim. Oh, I'm dead upset. Mate, you know what? Fucking absolutely get that fucking team out the league. And another thing that pisses me off about Aberdeen, just while I've got the spotlight for a second, really fucking annoys me that they've never been relegated being at the bottom of the division. That needs to change this year. Get them into the championship and let them fucking wallow down there. Horrible gang of a team. That's all I'll say.
And they finished bottom and never got relegated because of Brockville or whatever it was at the time, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yep. A real change.
Shambles.
Yeah. And if you're a new manager going in there as well and you listen back to that interview, you're just like, nope.
No. Mate, and the thing is, it's like he says, he hasn't just got that one wrong, he got them all wrong. Like he backed Stephen Glass for way too long, then brought in Jim Goodwin, and then
even getting rid of McInnes in a sense.
Mate, exactly. So, but I'm with you, Ando. Superb. Like, I cannot wait to see them in the championship next year.
It's amazing.
Right, we've stalled as long as we needed to now. We have to talk about one of the worst games of football of the season so far. Kevin, I think we had a stomach bug or something running through the team. I never noticed it where half the team wasn't playing until about 35 minutes into the game. It shows you how much attention that I was paying. What was your thoughts pre-game when you seen the lineup?
Holy shit! What's happened? It was, you know, myself and Tam and the bomb scare that is Shanks were all together on Sunday before the game, and when the team list came through, you went, really? What? And my first thought was, oh, he's got an eye on tomorrow night's game. And then I looked at it again and went, no, he's not got an eye on that. There's something definitely a little bit more, there's a bit more of a story behind this. And I think within a couple of minutes of me thinking that, I think Ando had put it in the group chat to say that the Sky Sports had reported that there had been a bug through the training facility or whatever, and I guess that's what caused guys like Hill to be out, and it was a real strange one because I also didn't know how we're going to actually set up. We're going to still continue our back three. We're going to play Atkinson at right back. We're going to play Atkinson at right wing back, and as you've doesn't really fit that particular role.
It was. Why do we have so many concussions as well? Like every fucking week, man. Like, what are we actually doing? So was Hill no concussion protocol?
He had the concussion from the Hibs game, man.
So he had concussion protocol as well. Andy Haldy's still out. Peter Haring, I don't even know where he is, if he's alive.
He's back training now, which is mental.
We'll see him next year then. So that'll be 2024 when he gets back. Obviously, Mikey Smith, Snodgrass, Barry Mackay, Janelli, all dropped out, etc. Tam, do we want to talk about Keogh? Because I don't think Keogh was the worst player on Sunday, if I'm being honest with you. I thought everybody was a bit meh, if we're going to be fair and consistent. But again, I don't know, man. He just does not seem to be getting up to speed with what's needed or what's wanted. What's your thoughts on it?
I agree with you there. That last point, it's just I was very much a few games ago, like, give him time, but it's watching him and he makes mistakes, but he blames everyone else around him, and he just can't seem to get a grip to the pace of the game, which is concerning after must have played like a dozen games now, has he? Maybe if that. But even at that, you would think he would be up to speed now. He had a bit of time out of the team. You thought maybe with a wee break out of it, that might help. But again, you could blame the way the game went on Sunday, because the middle two were just not really involved at all until George Grant came on, I felt. But no, he's no for me at the moment. He doesn't start tomorrow night.
Just say his pitch and the pitch didn't help him.
Correct.
True.
Exactly what it is. And the other thing he has is saving graces, and they help for continuity, building up, and how play is gone and all that. So it didn't help Devlin going off, right? That disrupts teams, it disrupts plans and all that sort of stuff the way it is. And George Grant coming on definitely didn't help. Kev.
Sorry, mate. I've just seen a comment in the group chat.
Just seeing it.
I won't. From Lee Thompson. Since he's shaved his beard, Corbett looks more like Humphreys than Humphreys does.
Here, I'll take that better than that fucking Paul Breach guy.
Well, that was my next question. Can you do the gritty? That's the question.
I'm not doing that.
And you can put that back on TikTok.
Turned it into a, what do you call it? One of those gifs that the young kids are into these days. Absolute flipping mother truckers. I think Andrew, you nailed it there. Like you said, it was pish, and the pitch definitely didn't help him. Ando, what was your thoughts on? Again, we mirror image to when we got beat there at the start of the season and the conversations we had after it about getting your competitive debut at Humphreys, away to Livy, on a plastic pitch, minging weather, where you're just going to have the ball punted long to you all game. Yutaro Oda, whatever he's called. What was your thoughts on his first half performance?
It's difficult because, like, if all things were equal and we were cruising 4-0 at home, and you know he come on and on a decent pitch in front of the home crowd or whatever, and scores a couple of goals, we'd all be in raptures. We'll be like, oh yeah, fucking brilliant, this guy's going to be a sensation. I think where we've started him, it's one of the most awkward places to start him, just as per a previous point, which is like the pitch is crap. It's fucking absolutely let's be honest, we're all from in and around that area. Livingston, Ammonvale Stadium, Tony Macaroni Arena, whatever it's a fucking horrible place to go. Absolutely horrible. The pitch is crap. Then you've got a whole load of changes within the team that are enforced through illness, if what we're being told is correct. It's not perfect. But then, do you ever have a perfect debut?
Mate, I seen a Safeway bag on the way to Livy. That's how backwards Livy is. I see a Safeway bag in the woods, and I was like, "What?"
Kim, it's fucking shite. I used to work for Safeway just up the hill. Before the old centre got fucking demolished. But anyway, back to the point. It's a difficult one. I don't think you can read too much into that performance. It's alien to him. He's going to be used to, I'd imagine, playing on grass. We've got loads of changes in the squad. So like there's not that sort of, without using some sort of wanky term about it, there's no sort of cohesiveness or anything like that. It's like, because if you're just taking one player out and putting him in, then I think it'd be a far easier thing. But because I think there was 5 changes to that team on Saturday, on Sunday. 5 or 6, whatever it was. Then that's a lot, right? And I don't think he probably could give his best account of himself. However, what I did see from him, I think in the first half, he touched the ball 4 times, according to the Sky Sports stats. Not great, but again, that's probably a victim of the circumstances rather than him being shite. So I will give him a benefit.
You nailed it right there, Kev. If I'm being honest with you, cohesion is the right thing, because he missed a sitter, right? So he scores that, and you think, well, he's had absolutely nothing. He's fed off scraps, and he scored with his only chance. So you pat him in the back for that. But the cohesion thing was thing for me because there was a couple of, and again it's those if Manty had balls situations, right? But there was a couple of times in the first half where Humphreys tried to slide him in and it was a bad pass and the defender just got there, or Shanklin tried to cut it back and the defender just got there. And the good thing for me that I saw from him, if we're looking at it from a positive point of view, is that he was getting into or trying to get into the right positions, which is what you're looking for. He was holding his run well, etc., etc. And it was just the final pass, or like you said, the final execution of a finish, away from us saying, "Woof, this guy was pretty decent."
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. I think the other element is, that's all you ask from a football player, is to actually, he definitely can read the game. He knows where he needs to be. He knows what he wants to do. And going back to what Tam said about Keogh earlier on, I think you do need to give him more time. That can talk about it all night about how bad a pitch that is. I think if he gets time on proper grass, I think we will see a better performance and probably an end product of it.
That's about pretty much all she wrote for the first half. Again, it sounds really mad, but a bit like the games that have came before us, or I didn't actually ever feel like we were in trouble. I was being honest with you, I never felt like Livingston were pegging us back or cutting us open, or that we were ever really in any danger of conceding. So I suppose what's that, like the fourth clean sheet in a row or something like that? Is it? Is it as many as that? 5 clean sheets, something like that. Anyway, so Livy, Hibs, Aberdeen, St Mirren, 4 in a row, isn't it?
It'd be something like that, maybe even 5 and 6 or something like that. With the Hibs game before
like
that.
Aye, I think the St Mirren deflection, and then the game at St Johnstone. I mean, you're looking at a penalty and a stupid mistake by Snodgrass or Shanklin. Sorry, that the thing was in. So from that aspect, we look fairly decent. And again, you look at the changes that we've made at the back. We get to bring Kingsley in, etc. The depth that we have at the back is pretty impressive. And I thought Kyrill's, for example, again had a topper of a game, which was decent. Second half, Tam, really the only talking points of the second half really were the 2 chances that Guranko missed. What's your take on them?
Again, it's probably coming down to chucking him in, but I couldn't believe how rapid he was, just straight away coming in.
Fast.
But if you see that double effort, he has to be scoring that in future for me, to be honest.
I think the first one, the ball gets stuck under his feet. If you're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And the thing I think the most refreshing about Ando actually was his comments after the game. I mean, he was pretty honest that we should have scored, like should have did better, which is pretty decent. To you can normally get football cliches when somebody makes a total cunt of it, so it was good for him to actually own it, wasn't it?
Definitely. I've not seen, heard his comments after the game, because see it 0-0 when the referee blew for full time. That was a rage quit. I was absolutely raging the fact that we never won that game. The question remains, did we do enough to win the game? No, I don't think we did. It was probably a fair result at the end of the day. But that aside, never seen his comments, but you get it. I absolutely get it. He's only here for a couple of months. He's not here to make friends. He's here to try and better himself. And because of that, you're going to get an element of honesty, I would guess. It's like if he'd been here on a 2 or 3 year contract, he would have come out with a typical fucking media training thing. But he's only here for a few months. He can say whatever he likes. And if he wants to turn around and say, aye, well, that was pish, I'll agree with him.
Kev, I think the only other thing there's 2 things my last point I'll make at the end. Again, I suppose the only other thing I'd like to talk about for Sunday is now we've praised how well it's worked in the past, but with no Snodgrass and no Devlin and no Giannelli and Mackay, etc., etc. It was at points Shanklin was playing fucking the 8. Shanklin was playing number 8, and I'm like, why are you so fucking deep? Like, you look at the chance that Oda has, and you think, I want Shanklin in that position. I want Shanklin coming into that tap in, and I think he had a header for a corner or whatever, but you can't play him that deep.
No, I think that was just it was an offset of the team selection itself that he played so deep. I think Tam and I actually said we actually played 3 up front here, but then within the space of 4 or 5 minutes of the game starting, we could see quite clearly that Shankly was definitely playing a lot deeper. But I think a lot of the game actually bypassed him to an extent because we were having to play long balls. You've seen Kingsley a number of times battering the ground because he tried to play long ball over the top and just didn't get it. It was going out for a by kick or out for a throw in or whatever. And I agree. I think that we want to be seeing Shankland further up the park. And that's maybe where we go, do you know what? Do we need somebody else that's as creative as Snodgrass? But look, it's at the end of the day, we all know perfectly well that Livingston's a tough place to go because of the conditions, because of the pitch, the fact, as you rightly said earlier on, they're just like a big gang. To go there, to go away with a point on a shit day, let's just forget about it and move on to tomorrow night.
And that I'll round off the whole Livy chat with just my last point where it was going to be was we're at 10 undefeated now, or is it
10,
undefeated if we? So 10 games undefeated. Yep. We were 4 points behind Aberdeen at the World Cup break. Since then, we've came back away. Are we undefeated since then?
The last
undefeated since
the World Cup break. We've just came off a 5-0 against Aberdeen, our closest rivals at the time. A 3-0 against Hibs, who are in the top 6. We've beaten St Mirren in the top 6. We've beat fucking Hibs 3-0 at Easter Road. We boo the team off at half time and boo the team off at full time. What the fuck's that all about?
Yes.
What's that all about?
Back to normal.
Mate, but I'm like,
was it you that started the booze?
I get it that we're frustrated or whatever, but we need to change that culture, right? Because sometimes, in the grand scheme of things, you'd rather have a poke in the eye and a kick in the balls, right? And that's all Sunday was a poke in the eye, right? That's all it is. There's no harm done. You got to think that Aberdeen, Motherwell, St Johnstone, St Mirren, Hibs, whoever, they are going to have it as equally as hard at Livingston as what we did, right? So you don't lose anything, you don't gain anything, but you walk away and say, well, the chances are that they'll not pick up anything there either. And it's the same with tomorrow night, which is why when we go to talk about Rangers, you're hoping that we go and just have a go because we're not expected to get 3 points anyway, and we're in no worse position if we didn't. So go try and get a point is more than we fought. 3 points is an absolute fucking bonus. So go for it. But again, this whole, the ultras are creating a totally different atmosphere and helping, and everybody that was watching on TV said about all you could hear was the ultras non-stop, etc. Try to get everybody going. They need buy-in for that. Like the rest of the crowd have to get involved in that as well. It helps G the players up. But the other thing is too, is you just have a bit of fucking realism as to where you are. You can't, you booing them off over 10 games undefeated. It's fucking mental. So that was just my last gripe about Levy.
No, I agree.
Get it in the bin.
It was an insignificant result against an insignificant team.
Exactly. Exactly. Right, before we move on, have we got any in YouTube?
Peter, apologies if I get your surname wrong here, Peter Ingroya, I think, says, question, will Curtis Main be a Hearts player before the end of this podcast?
Fucking he better be. What a hero Curtis is.
Scored at the weekend as well. I don't know if you seen
best player in the league, I'm telling you, Ballon d'Or.
There we go. Anything
Peter
else?
Was the guy that was helping everybody in Florence with the Italian train timetable.
Okay. Right.
He getting pelters for it, which was class.
Is that a bit of an in joke here? Is was it a bit of a train spotter or something?
You got to be a cool Twitter dude, mate, to get that reference.
Fair enough.
We're just I can't be bothered talking about fucking Rangers and Hearts. Whatever it will be. We'll just go around and do score predictions. Want to do that?
Yeah, go for it.
Kev, going in, Hearts Rangers, Tynecastle. What's your score prediction?
I think score prediction, I'll go for a Desmond.
Good, okay. Ando?
2-0 Rangers. We
Sam?
don't beat them at Tynecastle.
Don't be in my Ibrox either.
Or Hampden.
Anyway,
Celtic Park
fuck
is
it.
the only place we can beat them.
Yeah.
Tam.
We're going to win 1-0.
Okay.
I fucked it. Change it. No, we'll get beat 3-0. Sorry.
I'm in Kev's, but I'll say it'll be a 2 each draw.
Brave.
Are we getting it in before we finish up? Before I tell you Shanks' song choice, we're getting it else in
So,
YouTube or
no, I think we're good. Not so much questions again. Like everyone else on the YouTube chat, well done, because obviously you kind of just chat amongst yourselves. Probably need to get better at reading out the comments, but you also need to get better at asking actual questions. But there's no any actual questions in there. So, the Shanks song choice thing, I like the whole like dig it up thing. That's what
It's not that.
That's what I thought you were going for. I
No, it's not
genuinely
that.
thought that's what it was. Oh, I've just had one pop through. Craig, happy birthday, Shanks X.
No, Craig, pack it in.
Exactly. Enough of that chat. Get it in the bin.
Pack it in.
I will block you from this channel.
So he was asked by Freddie Cap start a song then, to which Shanks decided to go shoot the mum.
Oh, no.
I was like, for fuck's sake, man. In true
Should have
Shanks,
done that.
in true Shanks fashion, the last time we ever started a song up there with the IRA of Britain, we'll shoot them down in Midlands. There we go.
Man.
We'll end it on some Shanks nonsense.
Amazing.
Right. Well,
happy birthday, Shanks.
and
as
happy,
Craig said.
and happy birthday, Shanks, mate.
Lucky if he sees another
Sunday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? We played Monday night.
one. Saturday, I think.
Saturday. So they live YouTube on Sunday, and hopefully we'll be talking about two Hearts wins.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Good stuff. All the best, lads.
See you all later. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
Hey.
Cork it out.